All right, what up? It's time for week 4. Um, so yesterday we started off with a tremendous game. Of course, it was the Steelers versus the Vikings, the first Durham game. I mean, doubling it for doubling game of the year, and it was an interesting game. Yeah, that's right, an interesting game. Um, So Carson Wentz play. He had 30 for 46, 350 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jordan Mason had 16 for 57, and Wentz called his number twice for 12 yards. Justin Jefferson went 10 for 20 for 126. Jordan Addison in his return came back and had 4 for 440, 414, and Xavier Scott had 6 for 43 was a touchdown, and Jalen Naylor also had a touchdown here. T.J. Hawkinson had 4 for 39. While on the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers had went 18 for 22, 200 passing yards, 1 touchdown, but it was mostly this man Kenneth Gainwell, who had 19 carries for 99 yards, going for 2 rushing touchdowns. DK Metcalf had 5 for 126 and a touchdown there. Um, and Gainwell had 6 for 35. Washington had 3 for 20. This was an entertaining game. It seemed like it was gonna be all Steelers for out of it, and the Steelers played terrible. They both played terrible on third downs, but it was basically just a shitty offensive line and just bad play by the Vikings that cost them this game. Yeah, they came back and nearly won, but they didn't. And it's kind of sad, but it is what it is with this team. I don't know what it is. I said so much hype around the Vikings, but they're 2-2 right now, and the Steelers are 3-1. Actually, they gotten better from last week, so we'll see what happens there. But I think the Steelers right now is leading that division. So how long would they lead it? I don't know personally, but it's gonna be interesting to see it because after what we saw on Sunday, you know, the Commanders took on the Falcons. Falcons taking the win here, 34-27. Marcus Mariota went 16 for 27, 156 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. While Chris Rodriguez Jr. had 7 carries for 59 yards, and then Jacory Karski um, Manet Ment uh, had 7 for 47. Debo also ran the ball like 3 times, had 9 yards. Debo had 6 for 71 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Zach Ertz had 2 for 21, and Luke McCaffrey had 2 for 21 and a touchdown. While on the other side, the Falcons, Michael Penix played pretty well. He went 20 for 26, 313 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bijan Robinson, 17 carries, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. And Tyler Algier had 16 for 51 with 1 touchdown. They called his number 4 times, Mr. Penix Jr. at 2 yards. Drake London was exceptional. He had 8 for 110 yards and a touchdown. 4 for 106 for Bijan, and Kyle Pitts went 5 for 70 and a touchdown. Um, I kind of knew this was probably gonna go to the Falcons. I just think that mostly it was because the Falcons have been playing pretty well. Yeah, they're 2-2 now, so it's the Commanders, but the Commanders they're also losing a lot of players. But easily, I thought they should have went to the Falcons. The Falcons looked dominant throughout this game, and it showed. I mean, yeah. So I mean, for them to take the win here is kind of a good thing because what we saw from the Bucks this week is pretty interesting, and especially for that division, it's going to be really interesting. With the other guys that happen to be in this division with them. So yeah. The Giants and the Chargers. Are the Chargers frauds? Because, wow. Justin Herbert went 23 for 41, 203 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Um, Amarion Hampton went 12 for 128 yards and one touchdown, and they called Justin Herbert, called the number once for 24 yards. Uh, Quentin Johnson had 8 receptions, 98 yards, and one touchdown, and Hampton had 537. So did Keenan Allen. And Ladd McConkey had 1 for 11 yards. On the Giants, though, especially for what we saw after, they did put Russ in. Russ had one pass for 8 yards, but it was mostly about this man. Jackson Dart went in and played exceptional. He went 13 for 20, 111 passing yards, and one touchdown. While Cameron, I still can't say his last name, 25 carries for 79 yards. Jackson Dart called his number 10 times, went 55 yards, and he scored. Darius Slayton had 3 receptions for 44 yards. Monique Neighbors had 2 for 20, and he also got injured. This is a big talk about that. But it was, of course, Theo Johnson who had 3 for 17, who caught the touchdown pass from Jackson Dart. This game was pretty weird. I'll say that. I didn't really watch this one, but it was pretty weird looking back on it. It seemed like it should have been the Chargers win this game, but Jackson Dart just played really well. Even though they didn't score much. They got 21 points, but, they really didn't score much. So, yeah, it was an interesting game for both teams here. The thing is about this is that you can't give up 14 penalties here. You just can't. And you can't throw 2 interceptions to any team. It doesn't matter if they're terrible or not. You can't, because then you're going to probably lose. Your offensive line only allowed 2 sacks, while Jackson Dart was sacked 6 times. I mean, for God's sake, you should have won this game, the Chargers. But you blew it to the Giants? The Giants? The Giants? Really? Giants, bro. It was Tennessee Tech. The Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. This game was just terrible for any Titan fan. They're 0-4 now, so Cam Ward went 10 for 26, 108 yards, but he threw an interception. Tony Pollard went 14 for 64. Eric Emer had 2 for 44. Calvin Ridley went 2 for 30. And Tony Pollard went 3 for 12. And on the other side for the Texans, this is the best game C.J. Stroud has had all year. 22 for 28, 233 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Marks had 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Nick Chubb had 13, 40, and 47. While they called C.J. Stroud's number 4 times, he had 11 carries. Nico Collins had 4 receptions for 79 yards. Marks had 4 for 50 and 1 touchdown. And Jaden Higgins had 1 catch that went 24 yards into the end zone. A lot of questions. I know that the Titans are bad, but to play like this is crazy. You can't be this bad right now. It's just tough. Because, you need to be better, and it's why? You need to, one, you need to help. I get you only allowed 2 sacks, but you need to help develop Cam Ward, because there's potential there. He just still needs some work. And it's you don't do nothing. As for the Texans, all I got to say is nice victory. But can you do this to a competitive team? Because you're 1-3 right now. Everybody said you were going to win this division. And right now, you are terrible. So, the ball's on your court. Oh my God. The Eagles played the Bucks. Eagles played the Bucks. They ended up winning 31-25, snapping the Bucks undefeated streak and stuff. Jalen Hurts went 15 for 24, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, while he also carried the ball 9 times for 64 yards. Saquon Barkley had 9 carries, 43 yards and 1 touchdown, while A.J. Dillon had 3 for 17. Dallas Goedert had 4 receptions, 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon had 4 for 31. Devontae Smith had 2 for 29, and A.J. Brown had 2 for 7 yards. Interesting. The Bucks offense was like this. Baker Mayfield went 22 for 40, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Bucky Irvin went 15 for 63. Rashad White went 6 for 17 and 2 for 13 for Baker Mayfield. Sterling Shepard had 1 catch, 6 yards. That's a 16. And Mika Ibuka had 1 catch that didn't went nowhere. Bucky Irvin. Oh wait, sorry, that's run. I thought they were catching the ball. I was looking at runs. Here we go. So the receiving yards. That was on me. I'm kind of slow. Bucky Irvin had 5 catches, 5 catches, 102 yards and a touchdown. Mika Ibuka had 4 receptions, 101 yards and 1 touchdown. Rashad White had 4 for 29, and Chris Godwin in his return had 3 for 26, and Sterling Shepard had 2 for 14. What can I say? But just this makes a lot of sense. Defensively, yes, the Bucks should have won because their offense was just going out there and whipping on them. But I kind of see this going down to just turnover differentials. And look at this: no turnover from the Eagles, but 2 turnovers from the Bucks. So where does that happen? You have 2. This is what killed you. It's these 2 turnovers, because if you never would have got them, they had 8 penalties, 7 fumbles. 7 punts. Yeah, you only sacked them twice, but like they were not good statistically. All right, you beat them in everything except basically everything, and you lose. You get nothing. How? The Eagles are still 0-4, so they're still undefeated, while the Bucks, of course, lost. But they're 3-1, still leading that division, so it's all up to the other teams to really do much. I don't know if I should be happy or not, so I'm gonna try to be happy. The Patriots versus the Panthers. We won 42-13. Bryce Young went 8 for 30 attempts, went 150 yards and a touchdown. They even threw in Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, 5 for 6, went 58 yards and a touchdown. Chippa Hubbard went 10 for 49, and Travis Etienne went 7 for 33. Rico Dowdle had 9 and 32. McMullen had 4 catches, 64 yards, while Tremble had 5 for 42 and a touchdown. Tremaine had 3 for 36. Mitchell Evans had 3 for 23 and 1 touchdown. On the New England side, though, it was all about May, and it was Drake May who went 14 for 17, 203 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Joshua Dobbs came in just to throw a pass. We gave the ball to Rashawn Stevenson 9 times, 38 yards on those attempts, which I don't like. But we also used more of Henderson. Trayvon Henderson went 7 for 32, and he got his first rushing touchdown of his career, baby. Let's go. Antonio Gibson went 6 for 27 and a touchdown. And, of course, Drake May called his number 3 times, 11 yards, but he got a touchdown, too. Stephon Diggs played really well. 6 for 101 yards, but no touchdowns. Hunter Henry got 2 for 39, but he's, of course, our red zone threat, so he's going to get into the end zone. 1 touchdown for you. Austin Hooper had 1 for 24, and Bodditt had 1 for 18. Trayvon had 2 for 14. Mack had 1 for 4 and 1 touchdown. What can I say? But this is the best game the Patriots have played all season. You can't. Can you play like this all the time? I mean, yeah, the 7 penalties, but fucking shit. I mean, you guys, finally, finally, y'all play like a competent team. We're 2-2. Like, well, we're second in the division, which is what nobody thought. But yeah, we're second in the division right now, which makes me happy. But I don't know. We played the Bills this coming week in Sunday Night Football. Can we beat the Bills? Maybe, because we always somehow split that series with them. So it's more or less, can we play like we did in this game, but against the Bills, or just like week 2? Can we play like that? Because this is ridiculous. So the Lions. So it was Saints Bills. It was Bills won 31-19. They're still undefeated, and the Saints still yet to pick up a win. Which is really funny to me. Spencer Rattler went 18 for 27, 176 passing yards, and 1 touchdown. Chris Olave even had a chance to pass it, but it went to the other team. Alvin Kamara had 15 carries for 70 yards, and Kendre Miller had 11 for 65 yards and 1 interception, 1 touchdown interception. Rashid Shaheed had 4 catches for 7 yards. Jawan Johnson had 3 for 28. Brandon Cook had 3 for 22, and Chris Olave had 320 and 1 touchdown. Josh Allen, sorry. Oh, you suck. Josh Allen went 16 for 22, 209. God damn. 209 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. James Cook, I mean, he is just electric to watch. What a running back he is. I mean, he has stepped it up. I mean, he's only gotten better every year, so to see him really, he's going to kill us on Sunday Night Football, isn't he? 111 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, 7 carries for Josh Allen, 45 yards and a touchdown for him. Khalil Shakir had 5 receptions, 69 yards and 1 touchdown, 3 for Coleman, and he had 45 yards. Dawson Kincaid had 1 for 28 and then went into end zone, and Josh Palmer had 2 for 25. What can I say about other dominance by the Bills? This Bills team is just so good. So why can't they be the Super Bowl? Like, why can't they go to the Super Bowl and most likely represent and win it for the AFC? Because it's kind of seemable. The only thing is that these 11 penalties can't happen. No more. They can't go 3 for 10 in third downs. You need to play up, because this game, if you actually notice, was actually really close at first. Like, it was a close game for a little bit. But to go, like, you have to play consistently, and they just didn't. Like, they had chances of looking it, but no. So my thing is, can you play these like the first and third and fourth quarter, but every quarter, or at least don't have at least try to keep them to like 3 points or something like that throughout a quarter. Because if you just let them go down the field every time, or you get all these penalties and then force the punt or this, what's the point? You went 3 for 10 on third downs. You can't be doing that, buddy. So you're undefeated, but who knows when your first defeat? It could become. I mean, I'm not saying it can come to us, because most likely it ain't. But I would love it to be. It could come to a good team, like it could come down to a team that you played too soft on and it cost you the game. Bill Browns and the freaking Lions were yesterday, and the Browns, well, they played like the Browns, and the Lions are trying to make a name for themselves after week 1 not playing well. Joe Flacco had 16 for 34, 184 yards passing, but 2 interceptions. And Dylan Gabriel came in for 1 pass. for 1 pass. Quinshawn Junkins had 21 carries, 82 yards, and 1 touchdown. Everybody else, and even everybody else other than freaking Felton Jr. had like at least a yard. Everybody had negatives. Isaiah Mons went had 3 receptions, 58 yards, and Jerry Jeudy had 3 for 48, while Johnson had 4 for 33, and Felton Jr. had 2 for 24 and 2 for 11 for David Njoku. On the Lions, though, Jared Goff went 16 for 27, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jahmyr Gibbs had 15 carries, 91 yards, and 1 touchdown. David Montgomery had 9 for 12. Amon St. Brown had 7 receptions, 70 yards, and, of course, 2 tutties. Jameson Williams, sorry, I'm trying not to cough. Had 2 receptions for 40 yards. Sam Laporta had 3 for 39. So I'm gonna keep this short, much shorter than the other ones. Lions are good. The Browns are bad. So where's the Browns that everybody knew they were gonna be bad, but this bad is kind of insane. And the Lions, you've been bouncing back since week 1, so. It was the Jags versus the 49ers. And, well, like everybody thought, when the Jags play when the 49ers actually play a competent team, they are frauds. Trevor Lawrence went 21 for 31, 174 passing yards and 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne Jr. Oh, that was Trevor. Travis Etienne Jr. had 19 for 24 and 1 touchdown. Brian Thompson Jr. had 5 for 49 and no touch and nothing. Strange had 6 for 45. Travis Hunter had 3 for 42. Why won't nobody give him a touchdown? Come on. Find him in the end zone. 3 for 23 and 1 touchdown for long. Sorry, I'm kind of in a moment. Brock Purdy went 2 for 38, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also threw 2 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey had 17 carries, 49 yards. Brian Robinson Jr. had 5 for 21. Christian McCaffrey had 6 for 29 for 96, 2 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. While Tongues had 3. Had 3 for 58 and 1 touchdown. Ricky Pearsall had 4 for 46. Kyle Jatowski, I forget to say his last name. I should have said it perfectly too. 3 for 32. Jawan Jennings went 2 for 24, and Luke Farrell went 2 for 20. Like I said, the moment the 49ers play a good team, they're going to be showed up as frauds. Now, this has always been a problem for the Jags, and that's penalties at 12. So, it makes sense. You punt 5 times, but you guys won by 5, but you only won because, look at this, 4 turnovers by the 49ers. Y'all are frauds, and I knew it. I knew it. So, yeah, you're 3-1. I'm pretty sure so are the Seahawks. So, yeah, it's basically... And I'm pretty sure also the Rams. I think the Rams are the better team in that division. But the Seahawks are really good. And why you guys, no. Cardinals, why do I put my belief in teams sometimes? Speaking of the Rams, they beat the freaking undefeated Colts, who we all thought were frauds because they didn't play a real competent team. Daniel Jones went 24 for 33, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, but he also threw a ball for the other team 2 times. Jonathan Taylor had 17 carries, 76 yards. Mitchell had 3 for 96. Ward had 5 for 70. Pittman Jr. had 541 and a touchdown. Downs had 4 and 24. Taylor had 5 for 20. Matthew Stafford went 29 for 41, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns. Karen Williams had 13 carries, 77 yards. Blake Corum had 9 for 21. Puka Nakua, who is probably just one of the better receivers in the league, went 13 receptions, 170, and one touchdown. All all will had 1 for 88 to the end zone because that's all he needed. Devontae Adams had 4 receptions, 56 yards, and then to the end zone he went. Tyler Higbee had 2 for 25, and the others. What can I say about other than frauds? I'm not going to speak about this game because it's boring to talk about a game that I knew what was going to happen. They're frauds, 3 turnovers by them, and had 11 penalties. You guys wasn't that great. You just played teams that wasn't as good. I mean, basically, you didn't play any real competition. And when you finally did, y'all didn't show up like I said you wouldn't. So, I mean, what else can I say other than I knew this was going to happen? And as for the Rams, you should easily start winning this division. You should easily. It should be either going down to you and the freaking 49ers. Simple. It was a close nail biter for the Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas ended up losing 24-25 to the Bears, and everybody in Chicago is in love with football and talking about how the Bears are the best or something. The Bears are 2-2 right now, but Caleb Williams went 2 for 20, 22 for 37, 212 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Devontae Swift at 14 carries, 38 yards, and 1 touchdown. My guy, had 4 for 18. Rome Duze, of course, found the end zone, so he went 4 for 69 and 1 touchdown. Cole Kmet went 3 for 46, and Saharius went 5 for 41, while DJ Moore had 4 for 38. The Raiders, though, Geno Smith went 14 for 21, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also threw the ball to the other team 3 times. Aston Gently had 21 carries, 138 yards, and had 1 touchdown. Rasheed Mostert had 4 carries for 62 yards. Brock Bowers had 5 receptions, 56 yards. Jacoby Myers had 4 for 30. Aston Gentry had 2 for 17 and 2 touchdowns himself. And Trey Tucker went 2 for 13. What can I say? But bad football by both teams. Basically, bad football. This game was close, but it shouldn't have been. It was just bad football, especially by the Raiders. You fumbled it. I mean, you turned over the ball 4 times. You should have ran away with this game, but you didn't. And now look at you. So they got 1-3 in a really tough AFC West division. All right. What can I say? And in the Bears' case, they're in the North. So, I mean, it's just wow. Also, what happened, it was, of course, the big game of the week. It was the Chiefs versus the goddamn Ravens. And the Ravens are frauds. They are frauds. They're not even real. But the Chiefs, they look like the old Chiefs. They had 137-20. And Patrick Mahomes said, nah, I'm winning a game here. Gonna freaking kill the damn Ravens. 14 for 20 for Lamar Jackson. So he wasn't really bad. He just ended up, of course, getting hurt. Went 147 yards, 1 touchdown, but he also threw the ball to the other team. Cooper Rush came in, had 19 completions, 13 yards, and had 9 completions for 13 attempts and 52 yards. Wow. Justin Hill had 3 carries, 76 yards into the end zone. He went while Lamar Jackson had 6 for 48, and Derrick Henry had 8 for 42. I think this is the biggest fraud right here of the season. 7 receptions for 74 yards for Zay Flowers. Justin Hill had 5 for 41 and 1 touchdown. Mark Andrews had 7 for 30. Rashad Bateman had 1 for 24, and Derrick Henry had 2 for 16. But on the Chiefs, it was it was time for Patrick Mahomes to go back into his form, and he had 25 for 37, 270 yards, but also threw 4 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy carried the ball twice, and he had 38 yards on them. Isaiah Pachenko had 7 for 35, and Kareem Hunt had 13 for 34. Xavier Worthy had 5 for 83 yards receiving. Travis Kelce had 5 for 48. Hollywood Brown had 3 for 48. 3 for 38 and 1 touchdown. Juju had 3 for 36 and 1 touchdown. Isaiah Pachenko had 213 and 1 touchdown. And I don't know why, but every time I hear you say his name, I get a little bit more mad. Quentin Thorpeson had 1 for 11 that went into the end zone. What could I say but the fraud team here? 2 turnovers caused by happen. This is what always loses for the Ravens. It's these turnovers. You can't do this. You went 3 for 10. This defense that played like absolute shit in the last couple weeks smothered and beat on you. Where happened to the offense that we saw week 1 or like the first half of last week? They didn't even show up this week. Y'all can't. Where? I know that we're talking about an injury to Lamar, an injury to Marlon Humphrey, and all that stuff. You can say all the injuries for them, but still, where were you? Because I haven't seen you, and it's kind of ridiculous. This is bullshit for your team. Because I legit was like, damn, Ravens might be good. They might even go to the Super Bowl. Well, I must be wrong because you guys are frauds and you're ass. Hell, I might even pick the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl again. Because if they keep playing like this, then damn it, we're about to see another Chiefs Super Bowl. So, yeah. Wow. But it was time for the one game that everybody wanted to watch. It was the one game that it felt right. Packers and the Cowboys. And it ended in a tie? That's right. It ended in a tie, 40-40 piece. So, it's a little interesting. Jordan Love played a hell of a game. Went 31 for 43, 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs went 22, 86 and 2 touchdowns. 8 for freaking Wilson. He had 44 yards. And Jordan Love called his number 3 time for 28. Sorry. Josh Jacobs had 4 for 71 yards. Romeo Dobbs had 6 for 58 and 3 touchdowns. Matthew Golden had 5 for 58, and Tucker had 5 for 56. On the Cowboys, though, it was also a great game for Dak. He went 31 for 40, 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams had 2 carries, 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Dak also scored a touchdown. George Pickens played, though, like he was on another level, though. 8 receptions, 134 yards. 2. He's a free agent next season. Somebody better pay this man a lot of money. Jalen Tolbert had 4 receptions, 61 yards. Jake Ferguson had 7 and 40. It was also a touchdown. I remember they had no CD Lamb. This was an interesting game. Everybody was talking about Micah Hyde, but nobody was stopping talking about what offense. Both of their offense, the Packers' offense played exceptionally well. Yeah, they lost a fumble, but that was it. The defense of the freaking of the Packers came back a little bit, but they were slow, and that's the one thing. You know, we talked about the Cowboys being terrible, but their offense really showed up when they needed to. This was a game. This was like a must-see game, and they said, you know what? For the return of Micah, we ain't gonna let him do shit. They only allowed 1 sack each. They said nobody goes nowhere. This game was going back and forth, but ultimately came down to the kickers. And while the kickers ended up tying the game, they went to overtime and also tied the game again. Ended up in a tie. Now this is interesting due to the facts of what division the Packers are mostly in. They're 2-1-1, and the Lions are 3-1. So I'm pretty sure the Lions are in that division, but it's an interesting thing because you remember the Packers did beat the Lions. And, well, let's say, you know, I'm pretty sure they played the Lions really late in the season in Detroit. So, can the Packers be a Lions team that has basically found itself? This ain't the week 1 Lions. This is gonna be the week 13 Lions. Holy shit, is that Thanksgiving game? No, but you know, like this is a big time time game here. Like, wait a minute. Oh, it is a Thanksgiving game. Fucking, I'm so stupid. Like, y'all playing Thanksgiving. Last year on Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the Packers did win. But can you do it again against a Lions team that's basically found their offense and their defense? We got to see. This was it for week 4 and what happened on Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about what happened on Monday. See ya.